Hello everyone, welcome back to ATBP Gaming again. Today I want to talk about something that I see more often now. I think you see this too in your country. It is online gambling. Because in many places, especially here in my country, the main way to gamble is rooster fighting. So in order to do it, you need to go to rooster fighting pits or even just outside of your house. We call it sabong. But nowadays, people do not need to go to those places anymore. Everything is inside your phone. Just a few taps and money is already involved. And I notice how gambling affects people differently when you do not have much in life. For someone with money, gambling might look like entertainment, you know, something that you enjoy. But for someone who is struggling, it becomes something else. It becomes hope. It becomes an escape. And to be honest, in the end, it always becomes a trap. Most people I know did not start gambling because they are greedy. You know, they started because life is heavy. All of the things that you think about: bills, debts, responsibilities, and stress. Stress do not stop. When someone feels stuck, the idea of quick money becomes very attractive. I know that. I can see that even if they know the risk, the possibility of winning feels like a chance to breathe. Uh, my mother is also like that. She's not a gambler. She just sometimes go to the lottery. You know, some that hope of getting that millions of money, but it always ends up her with nothing. Some start with small amounts. Maybe coins, maybe just a little of your extra money if you have one. At first, it feels harmless. You know, Sometimes they even win. Even wins a number of times. That is where the danger begins, in my opinion. Winning creates excitement. It creates belief. It makes people think that maybe this is the solution. But over time, losses start to grow. People try to recover what they lost. They think the next game will fix everything. The next bet will solve the problem. Instead, the problem becomes bigger. You see in the movies, you see that. I have seen people hide this from their families. At the beginning, nobody knows. They gamble quietly, usually at night. The card games, the rooster fighting, it's in the morning, um, but it's in a specific location. So if you do not want your family to know, you go there. But if you don't care, you just do that at the front of your house. You know, but secrets are heavy. Eventually, the truth comes out, and when your family finds out, the situation becomes worse. Trust is broken. Arguments start. That is very common here. Money problems grow instead of solving. financial struggle, gambling creates new ones. What makes this more painful is that many gamblers are not bad people. They are fathers, workers, even students. They are people who just relief, want a relief from stress. They want to feel hope, even if only for a moment. In poor communities, uh, stress is constant. You know, there is no real break from worry. That's why gambling gives you temporary escape. While playing, people forget their problems. They focus only on the screen. The numbers, the chance of winning. For a short time, reality feels lighter. But when the game ends, reality comes back heavier than before. There is also something else that bothers me. These celebrities and politicians promoting these gambling apps. They appear in the advertisements, billboards, smiling, encouraging people to try. You know, they make this look easy and fun, but they do not show the consequences. For sure, they will they will leave those unreadable messages at the end of the advertisement. The usual black background screen and a tiny phrase that saying, you know, uh, this is a gambling thing and you will get addicted. Those messages, and sometimes they will narrate it with a very fast voiceover that you cannot understand. They really minimize the warnings of gambling addiction, which is very bad, and it frustrates me because in my opinion this is sick and predatory. you know these public figures already have the money. They do not understand the desperations of poor people who are watching them. When someone famous promotes gambling, it creates trust. you know People think that if this influential person supports it, maybe it is good, that it is safe. But the truth is, it's different. The risk is carried by the poor, not by the people promoting it. I sometimes wonder how many families have suffered because of this influence. Because to be honest, here in my country, people have died because of this. A lot of people were killed and buried somewhere, and their families cannot find them. It is one of the most gruesome and heavy feeling news in my country a few months ago. But nowadays, it is forgotten because influential people have the power to make the people forget. If you're asking how to do it, of course, the news. They pay the news to not publish these unfortunate events, which, to be honest, it makes me mad. And yet, these advertisements continue. Another thing I notice is the cycle. Gambling does not only take the money. It takes time, energy, and focus. People become distracted from work, responsibilities, from opportunities that could actually improve their lives. Instead of saving money slowly, even by coin, they chase fast results. Instead of building stability, they chase luck. Because luck is unpredictable. Poverty is not solved by luck. There is also the emotional damage. Losing money hurts, but losing hope hurts more. When someone believes gambling will save them, every loss feels like personal failure. Shame grows and confidence disappears. Some people continue gambling because they feel they already lost too much. They think stopping will make the losses permanent. So they continue, hoping to recover. But recovery rarely comes in gambling. And from my perspective, the saddest part is that gambling targets people who are already uh, vulnerable. You know, the more desperate someone is, the more attractive gambling becomes. It is like offering water to someone who is thirsty, but the water is poison. I do not gamble, but I see it. I observe it. I see neighbors and other people around me affected by it. I see the emotional weight it creates. I see the tension in families. I see the regret after losses. And I understand why they they started. Life is difficult when opportunities are limited. People look for shortcuts. Gambling pretends to be a shortcut, but most of the time it is a dead end. I am not saying everyone who gambles will lose everything. You know, some people know how to stop early. Some people who can control it, but many cannot, especially when they are already under financial pressure. Because for poor people, risks are more dangerous because there is no safety net. Losing money is not just losing extra cash. It can mean losing your food on the table, medicine, and stability. This is why gambling and poverty are dangerous combination. You know, I think that I think what people really want is not gambling. They want relief. They want hope. They want a way out of their situation. Gambling just looks like a faster door. To be honest, it leads nowhere. You know, the realistic truth is that escaping poverty is slow. It requires patience, discipline, and yes, sometimes luck, but not the kind uh, found in betting games. Real improvement often comes from small steps. Not sudden wins. And I believe communities need more awareness about this. People need to understand the risk clearly, not only the excitement, and those with influence should be more responsible instead of promoting something harmful, because at the end of the day, I do not judge the people who gamble. I understand the reasons, but I also see the danger, and I hope people recognize it before the damage becomes too deep. So if you are gambling, I hope that you can think about this, and I hope that you stop. This leads nowhere, and it will make your life harder. So thank you for watching. Thank you for taking the time to click on this video. I know that you can relate to this. So if you have stories or just your thoughts, please comment it below. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you on the next video. Bye bye.